What?
What?
What the hell is this?
Harumph. I didn't get a harumph out of that guy.
Give the governor harumph.
Harumph!
You watch your ass.
I see you shiver with anticipation.
Let the show begin.
Hey everybody, this is David Heretic and Mrs. Heretic bringing you our concert review of The Warning from May 2nd, 2023. So we got the chance to go to The Warning. We were able to score some tickets and we went. It was being held at the Regent Theater, also known as The Slope. Dear Lord, we're going to talk about that in just a second. Before we go any further, for those of you who are feeling inclined to do all the clicks and the likes and the bibbity-boobity bop, do me a favor, before you do all that stuff, please watch the whole video first, okay? Give us a chance to actually earn those clicks and likes. Now, after the video's done, if you still feel like doing all those clicks and likes, then by all means, feel free to click away. But as always, we're gonna start with our entire day. You worked. She had to come home from work early, guys. Ooh, brutal. How'd you handle that?
Like I always do. Just fine.
Just fine. You didn't have any anxiety over missing work?
Wow, man, freaked out!
A little, I knew it. So she came home early. Now, we were gonna get dinner, but the thing is, we found out the Regent Theater is in downtown LA. Now, downtown LA has a bunch of places to go eat. None of them are really all that good. And to be perfectly honest with you, the places that are good were all closed. So, unfortunately, we didn't get a chance to eat down there. So we ate when we got home. So that's okay though. That's all right. So unfortunately, no restaurant review. Sorry, I know a lot of you guys look forward to that, but no food review, no restaurant review for this one.
You kidding me?
The Regent Theater, it's dated, isn't it? It needs a rework.
It was probably last updated in the 80s.
That'd be my guess. 80s or early 90s. It needs an update badly. But it's a pretty decent sized theater, pretty good venue as far as structure goes, design goes. I mean, it is what it is. And I mean, I know it's a pretty well-known theater out here in Southern California. So, I mean, it was fine. I mean, we found out people call it the Slope because you walk in and there's about a 30% grade straight down to the stage. It's and I understand why they designed it that way. They designed it that way so people standing, because there's no seating unless you're up in the rafters, where all the VIPs got to sit. But if you're on the general floor, they want to give everybody the best viewing opportunity that they can. So with that slope, you know, you have people standing, so everybody gets a pretty good view of the stage. I understand the design, maybe not so steep. I don't know about you, but
I didn't think it was too bad. It was, but I can
we were also at the back where it was pretty level. So
I did that on purpose.
Yes, agreed. Well, we got lucky. We got there early enough. We got some great spots right next to the soundboard. So we had like the best sound experience possible, which we were really happy about. So. Okay, so let's go down the show list. Now, there were 3 bands. Okay, let's talk about that first band, Holy Wars. Oh, brother.
Please stop.
Boy, oh boy. Oh, marshmallowy boy.
All right.
Okay, I have notes here. This is how serious I am. I actually took notes, if you can believe that. I know you can't really see it, but I have a whole page of notes here. What were your impressions of Holy Wars? Be honest. What do you think?
I think they had really good stage interaction.
Yes.
I think the lead singer was very personable between crowd interaction.
Oh yeah.
Okay. She can sing really loud, which is good when you're a live performer.
Yes.
Okay.
She had good projection.
Especially because the backing track was OP. It was way OP. It was overpowered.
It was seriously overpowered.
Okay, so the fact that she was a very high and loud vocalist helped at least convey, like we could hear what she was saying. Not
About half
only
the time. Yeah.
most of the time, I would say a little more than half, because she was you know, I think she realized her backing track was loud, and she was loud for that.
Yeah, there is that possibility.
Yeah. It was compared to the Warning and Plush, who were the other bands playing, they were way heavier. I'd give them an 8 or a 9 on the heaviness scale.
Yeah, they were definitely more on the metal lines.
Yeah, I mean, I would consider Plush and the Warning more rock. Yeah. And
hard
them
rock.
being more heavy, on the heavier side, almost heavy metal-ish.
Yeah.
So that is what I would say.
Okay. I agree with you on a lot of those things. The sound mix, this is going to be my biggest gripe for pretty much the entire night. You're going to hear me say this a lot. The FOH was, I don't know who was working FOH. That person should have been fired.
Agreed.
It was very, very unbalanced. From my notes here, what I'm guessing, I couldn't see the board, but what I'm guessing is their backing track was probably at about a 10. It was probably maxed because that backing track blew everybody else out of the water. Even the drummer was getting drowned out. The drums were probably set at about an 8, I'm willing to guess. We could hear the drums consistently, but it was getting played over by the track. You could hear the track clearly over the drums. Vocals were probably about a 7. At times, we really couldn't hear the vocals at all because she would be singing like at a mezzo forte or lower. If she sang anything under forte, you couldn't hear her. The only time you could really hear her clearly is when she was really belting it. I don't know. It was really rough hearing the vocals at times. I felt the worst for the guitar player. I'm willing to bet guitar was probably set at about a 2. You could not hear the guitar at all unless the track laid out completely. When the track wouldn't play, you could hear the guitar. But as soon as the track came in, guitar was absolutely buried every single time. I felt bad for that poor guitar player.
The other thing that I've noticed with a lot of opening bands nowadays, if they're not like the bigger opening band, if they have like 3, it's a piecemeal band. It's like for this one, it was a guitarist, a drummer,
and a vocalist.
There was no bass player, no keyboardist. So it was not, the sound wasn't as full and harmonious as it should have been.
It sounded very digital. I absolutely agree with that. I am starting to get a little scared for the future of rock. I'm seeing more and more piecemeal bands like this, where they'll have the guitar player and they'll have the drummer and they'll have, you know, the vocalist, and they won't have a bass player, or they'll have a bass player and a drummer but no guitar player, or, you know, anything like that. And there's always people missing, but they have tracks for them. I worry for the future of rock and roll if this is going to become a trend. And I understand why the trend is less people in the band, less politics, less possibilities of drama, more money to be distributed. You know, a bigger cut of the gate for everybody in the band. Everybody gets more. I understand all of that, but guys, eventually we're going to start seeing bands where it's just literally a vocalist, a rock band with no guitars, no bass, no drums, no keyboards, just track. That is a frightening thought, and I really hope that never comes to pass. As it stands right now, bands like that are a bit of a novelty act because we don't see too many of them, okay? So I'm really hoping that this does not become the norm. I really do. I agree with you. Holy War's music was high energy. It's just a shame we couldn't hear it very clearly. You know, it was so track heavy and unbalanced. Great stage presence. I agree with you on that too. She really knows how to work a crowd. She knows how to interact with the crowd. It's a shame we couldn't hear half of what she was saying. You know, unless she was yelling or screaming, seriously, you couldn't hear her. I felt kind of bad for them, but you know, it seems like the crowd was into them a little bit up at the front.
Yeah.
There were definitely some people there that were, you know, there to see them, and there's nothing wrong with that. That's perfectly fine. I'm just glad they came to the show. Okay, after them came Plush.
I am the hype!
Now, I'm gonna have some serious criticisms here, but not a Plush. You're gonna see. I may go on a rant here.
Oh no!
I may not be able to control myself.
More of the FOH stuff, honey.
Oh, we'll get to it. Plush, what did you think of Plush?
High energy.
This is your first time seeing Plush.
Plush was fun.
I've done a couple of reactions to Plush, so I kind of had an idea of what to expect, and I'm going to say they met all my expectations across the board. So what did you think?
They were really high energy. They were fun. We couldn't get a set list for them, so I couldn't tell you what songs they played.
I have no idea.
Because this is my first time ever even hearing. I looked at him and saw the marquee. I'm like, what's a Plush?
What's causing all this?
That's true. You did.
I looked at the marquee. I'm like, what's a Plush?
What's a Plush?
What's a Plush? And he had
I was like, Plush is a band. What kind of a band? It's a hard rock band. Trust me, they're going to fit really well with the Warning. And in all honesty, I think they were a great match for the Warning.
They really were.
Great pairing.
Yeah.
Great pairing. I kind of wish, honestly, I don't know about you, I kind of wish they had ditched Holy Wars and given Plush a longer set.
I would have been tended to agree with that.
Yeah.
Because I think the blending, Holy Wars was really, really, really heavy compared to Plush and the Warning.
Yeah.
So I really think Plush and the Warning fit like gloves together.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
It was
peanut butter and jelly.
It was amazing.
Yep.
I did like the fact that they did do a Kiss song because they they went on the Kiss cruise and they performed on the Kiss cruise.
Good for them, by the way. That's not an easy gig to get, so good for them for getting on that cruise. And they did do a Kiss cover, which made me laugh. I don't know if the song they picked would have been one that I would have picked, but Heaven's on Fire. Okay, look, it's a song that everybody knows and everybody recognizes. I get it. I don't know if that's the song I would have picked. If we're looking at like 80s Kiss, like non-makeup days Kiss, I don't know. Maybe Tears Are Falling, I think might have been a better pick for them. But I mean, it was a fun song. It is a fun song, and they did a great job with that. Yeah, they did another cover too. They did two covers.
They did.
That was kind of gutsy on their part.
They did Barracuda by Heart.
And they did a great job.
Oh
they
my
knocked
God,
it out of the park.
Those are the two because I recognize those songs. Those are the two I can talk about. I'm sorry, guys. This was my first time hearing them. I don't recognize anything else they played, and we can't get a set list to even figure it out.
Nope.
So my apologies, but the energy was good. The stage presence was good. The band interaction was good. The crowd interaction was good. The lead singer, for being, apparently she's very fun-sized compared to the other ladies in the band.
She's a little fun-sized, isn't she?
Yeah, because
I found out something about her. You know, she was a contestant on, I think it was The Voice.
Oh!
And she actually progressed quite a bit from what I understand. She didn't win it, but she went quite a ways with that show. So she can sing, and I thought she did a great job.
Oh yeah, I agree with you, but I saw when they stood up, there were the guitar player and the drummer
and the bass player
who are all, I think, about a foot taller than this lovely, and I'm fun-sized myself, so I have a great appreciation for powerful women who are fun-sized. So
yeah,
and she has some powerful lungs and she can belt it. She really
Absolutely.
can. So I give them amazing props.
Would you want to go see them again?
I would love to go see them again.
Okay.
That would be something I would be really into going to do, and actually having them be the headliners would be actually a lot better because then we could get more of a feel than just like a 40-minute set versus, you know, when like the Warning played over an hour and a half, I think.
I think they did an over an hour. I don't think they did an hour and a half. But yeah, I agree with you. I think Plush did a great job. I got my notes here. Plush.
He's gonna go on the rant with the FOH.
You know, hold on, we're gonna get to that in a little bit. Their vocal harmonies. I've talked about this before when I did my reaction to them. They have great vocal harmonies, and they were definitely singing live. Yeah, they were definitely singing live without question. And the reason I'm able to say that is their vocal harmonies were a little inconsistent. Most of the time, they were spot on, but there were a couple of times in every song where I'm pretty sure it was the bass player was a little flat. And the thing is, it was consistently flat. I never heard the bass player ever go sharp. So that's okay. That's actually a better problem to have. When you're doing flat and sharp and you're being inconsistent on both, that's bad. That means you have some serious problems to work with. If all she's just being is a little flat, that can be addressed, that can be fixed relatively easily. So that's good. I did have a gripe about, well, okay, this goes to FOH again, probably. Stage left mic, that was the bass player's mic, was significantly louder than the lead vocalist's mic. Should have been the other way around. FOH, I'm talking to you.
What's the matter with you?
Hopefully I really hope the person that was doing FOH for that concert, I really hope they watch this video. So I'm gonna blast them later. Never thought I'd say this, but the bass was a little loud in the mix.
Who are you?
I know, right? I know, me as a bass player said the bass was too loud, but it was. At times it was a little hard to hear the lead vocalist because the lead vocalist mic was louder, wasn't as loud as the stage left mic. If they had boosted her vocals up, I think it would have solved the problem. But then again, maybe not, because we couldn't hear the guitar at all times either. No track usage. Everything from them is 100% organic. Kudos to them. Love that. Love that. So yeah, it was outstanding. I loved seeing that. I love seeing no track usage. They did everything they did themselves. Every harmony, every chord, every note was them, and I absolutely appreciate that. The guitarist on stage left. Is that stage? Yeah, stage left. The guitarist on stage left. Man, she is a rock star. Oh my goodness. She had all the movements and all the motions, and the thing is, it didn't look forced. Like, it didn't look rehearsed. It looked very natural. All of her movements, all of her poses, all of her interactions with the crowd, everything, it just looked very natural. It didn't look like she was thinking about it. It just happened. She's an absolute rock star. Love her. Bonus points for doing a Kiss cover, you know, even if it was Heaven's on Fire, not my favorite song, but that's okay. Minus points for the bassist not playing the song correctly in the breakdown. When they do the, whoa, heaven's on fire, that part in the middle section, the bass player was going from the 7 to the 6. It's supposed to be 7 to the 4th to the root. She was doing 7 to the 6 up to the octave, and I'm like, no, that's not how it goes. Oh, unacceptable! So minus points for that. Not many, but still minus points. I would give overall, I would give Plush really good stage presence. I would give them about a 7 for their stage presence. Stage energy, about an 8, okay? Great stage energy. Stage interactions, it was okay. I mean, I think they could have done more for stage interaction with each other.
Okay, but there were a lot of them on stage, and that stage was not huge. There were 5 people on that.
4.
Four?
There's only 4.
4 people on stage, but that drum kit was huge.
Yeah, they did have a pretty good drum kit.
They had a huge drum kit, so they did not have a lot of room to move around. Give them some credit where credit is due, and don't be so hard on them.
Oh my gosh.
They did not have a lot of workable space.
All right,
I saw
fine.
that.
Fine. Still think they could have done more. Anyway, crowd interaction, on the other hand, was a 7. I think their crowd interaction was really good. They did a really good job, everything they needed to do. And their showmanship was an 8. That's mostly thanks to the guitar player over on stage left. Okay, here comes my rant, and I'm going to do my best not to go on a rant here.
Oh, Lord.
Here we go. Whoever was working FOH for this entire show, I don't know if the same person was working for all 3 bands or not, but whoever was specifically was doing the FOH for Plush needs to be fired. And then not retrained, fired. How in the world, as an FOH operator, how in the world can you allow feedback, residence feedback, to happen on not 1, not 2, but 5 songs, and some songs more than once? The Barracuda cover was almost unbearable to listen to. We had residence feedback happening through the entire song.
What?
How? How does that happen? How does an FOH person allow that to happen? And the sad thing was, I know exactly who the FOH person was because they were right behind me. I kept turning around to look at him and giving him that look of, are you gonna fix this? And he just, you know what he was doing? He was leaning back against the rail, checking his phone. He wasn't even paying attention to the board. Fire that FOH person, please fire him. I mean, and make sure you blacklist him. Never, ever let him work in this business ever again. Because all he's gonna do is ruin performances for band after band after band. This guy does not deserve to work at FOH. It was horrible. I mean, the positioning of the mics. Oh, gee, let's take the mic that's over on stage right in front of the bass cabinet, and let's make that the loudest mic on the stage. What a great idea!
Allosaurus had never seen such bullshit before.
Are you out of your mind? That's the whole reason we had the problem. All they had to do, seriously, all they had to do, turn down the bass player's mic. If they had done that, it would have solved the whole problem. But no, he's gonna sit back there and look at his phone during Barracuda, which has this the whole time. Dear Lord, it happened during the Kiss song, it happened during the Barracuda song, it happened during 3 of their other songs, and in varying degrees. Sometimes it would disappear after about 10 seconds. Sometimes it wouldn't disappear for the entire frickin' song. That was outrageous. If it's the same person working all 3 of the bands, I wonder if that guy was actually maybe working for the Warning and just didn't care about the other 2 bands. That's how it felt. So I don't know, maybe not. Or you know, the other thing it could be the Regent Theaters people. And they really don't give, 2 whits about any of those bands. So they just, did whatever they had to do and do the minimum amount of effort needed to get their paycheck. That's what it felt like. And I was so frustrated the entire night with FOH. There was just so many problems. And seriously, that FOH person needs to be fired. Absolutely needs to be fired. Sorry, but I just frustrated as hell beyond belief on both of that.
Do you see how red his face just turned during that entire rant?
Well, that's me. That's what I'm known for. Anyway, I liked Plush. I think Plush did a great job. I would love to see them live again, maybe in a better venue with better FOH. Give them a chance to actually shine. But what they did the best with under the circumstances, and I give them all the credit in the world for coming through looking as good as they did. So, anyway, moving on to the Warning.
I am the hype!
Now, the Warning review, if I'm being honest, is going to be very brief because if I'm being honest with you guys, most of the songs that they played at the show, we've heard them do before at the Troubadour. So, I mean, I don't want to sound like a broken record, you know what I mean? So, but they did it. I think overall the Warning did a really great job playing live at this venue, despite FOH issues.
But I'm gonna go off on an FOH problem.
Go ahead.
I am a PAL fan, and you could not hear her vocals to save your life.
Nope, you couldn't.
And I was furious. I'm like, I can't hear her. I see her mouth moving. I see her singing. Can't hear a damn word coming out of the mic. Damn word.
Well, actually, we could hear her.
Not on every song.
It's just, here's everybody else, and here's all the instruments, and here's everything else. Here's the drums, here's the guitar, here's the bass, here's Danny's vocals, here's Ale's vocals, here's Pal's vocals.
Yeah, but when she was doing harmonies, you could not hear her at all.
You sure?
Mm-hmm.
So I could hear harmonies.
I could only hear her when she was like lead singing, and that was like, I'm like sitting here like this.
Yeah, FOH just.
I was pissed with that part.
And I know we weren't the only ones because we heard a lot of grumbling in the crowd. A lot of people were upset about that, and a lot of people we talked to after the show said the same thing. They were really upset that they couldn't really hear Pal. So again, FOH.
Get your crap together.
Seriously, get your crap together, and I don't know. Go back to school, learn how to work FOH. I don't know. Maybe do some more apprenticeship under people who actually know how to do FOH, because you clearly don't. You clearly have no idea how to run a board or how to mix. I'm sorry, but you don't.
And I'm gonna say, given how dated the region is, they had great acoustics compared to when we went to the Troubadour last year.
Yeah.
Their acoustics were way better. If their FOH was even halfway decent, it would have been a lot better of a show.
I agree. I absolutely agree. The region, it is a rectangle. I'm not going to lie. It is a rectangle, but it's a high, the ceiling is very high. There's a lot of space for the sound to disperse. So it's not like blaring in your ears. You know what I mean? It was loud, but it wasn't so loud that my ears were ringing for like 4 days afterwards. My ears were ringing after one day. I'm not going to lie. The next day, my ears were ringing a little bit, but it wasn't terrible. So anyway, let's go on the set list. They opened up with Disciple, the song that we have both heard.
Yes, and it's
great
one of their
opener.
It was one of their openers from the show at the Troubadour.
I think it was the second night they opened with it.
Yeah, but I call that part of the opening. The first couple songs I call the openers.
And the first night they did Z to open up the show, which they did as their second song. So they did their two openers back to back from the Troubadour show as their first and second song. I thought that was really neat. Really good idea. They did a great job on both songs. I think we can both agree on that.
Yep.
Good energy. Animosity.
Same thing. We saw it at the Troubadour.
Yep. Pretty much exactly what we saw at the Troubadour. It did sound better. It did sound better.
I could understand the vocals a little bit better this time around. Yeah.
Yeah. After that came Choke.
Yeah.
Now, after that came a song that neither one of us have ever heard before. And I don't know about you, but if it was a song I haven't reacted to yet, I didn't want to ruin any potential reactions. And I'm not trying to be disrespectful to the Warning. I'm trying to be respectful of you guys, the viewers, and the members of the fan base. I did my best to tune out when they were doing a song that I did not recognize. Like when they did a song that I didn't go, oh, I know that song. I tried my best to kind of ignore it, blank it out, check my phone, check my messages, do everything I possibly could to blank out from that song. I don't know if you did that, but I did that.
I'm not the best with the memory when it comes to the music.
Yeah.
I'll probably, and because of the fact that a lot of times, because of the front of house issue, the vocals, I won't remember too much. So if we decide to do a reaction, it'll almost be like hearing it for the first time.
That's how I approach it too. That's exactly why I was blanking it out.
I sung along to all the ones I did know, though.
Yeah, you did. Especially when we get to, we'll get to that in a second. After that came Dust to Dust. The minute the bass line kicked in, I recognized that one. I love that song.
I sung to that one. That one I was singing to.
Dull Knives Cut Better.
That one I heard before and definitely was singing along with it.
Absolutely.
Loved it.
Then we had two new songs. I blanked out for both of them, so I do not remember them. Don't ask me what I thought about them. I couldn't tell you. Kool-Aid Kids and More, both new songs. So.
And that was one of the things I did too, because they mentioned this is new. We haven't played it before.
Yep. And I was like, okay, well, I'm
we
blanking
were like,
out then. Yeah, near. After that came Money, which you love. You love that song. I just did a reaction to that song. Funny thing is, you're going to be seeing the reaction for it in June. I had filmed it back at the about mid-April is when I filmed my reaction to that. And I said I said the exact same thing in that video that I said now. I know I've heard it. I know for a fact that it was on the set list for both nights at the Troubadour shows. I couldn't remember it. But I know it was the song where everybody kicked in and they said something because the band laid out and the whole crowd interacted. Well, I heard it this time. Now I know what they were saying. And it was fun because I saw her kick in and she did it. And I was like, well, I know you're having a good time with that song. So they did a great job with Money. Now, after that, they did something. Now, there's one of two ways. Now, I really hate to be that guy. I really do. But I do feel it is kind of my obligation to pull back the curtain and reveal some of the tricks of the trade, I suppose, would be a good way to put it. They did something known as the jar. Okay, so what they did was they had a bunch of pieces of paper in there, and they had a whole bunch of songs that they don't normally put on their set list, they don't normally put in rotation, they don't normally play live, and they had them all in this jar, and they had some random person in the crowd pull it out, and this is the song. Now, here's the thing, folks. I hate to be that guy, I really do, but you need to understand. I can't think of a single band that would ever put themselves into a possible failing situation. Okay, when you do stuff like that, if you don't know every single song forward to backward and have it rehearsed and have it ready to go, then you're setting yourself up for failure. What they more than likely did, okay, more than likely, they had their jar, they had a bunch of pieces of paper in there, and they all had the exact same song. That was, in this case, Red Hands Never Fade. Every piece of paper probably had Red Hands Never Fade on it, so whatever gets picked out, that's it. And they had it rehearsed and ready. It gives the illusion of spontaneity, but at the same time, it gives them the opportunity to have the ability to play the song well rehearsed, prepared, and ready to go.
It could have also been one of like 3 songs, 3 or 4 songs, just to give some, because Danny did say...
It was like 5, I saw like 5 or 6 pieces of paper.
Yeah.
It's not that hard to rehearse 5 or 6 songs.
Yeah.
That is true. That is true.
And she said she had to change her pedal board in the middle to switch it to that song.
Oh, look, I have to change my headphones. Hold on 1 second. Let me change my headphones out.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying?
I know.
That's all showmanship.
I know showmanship. Yes.
Okay. Now look, there is a possibility, like you said, because there was only like 4 or 5 pieces of paper in that jar. It's not hard to rehearse just 4 or 5 songs if they limit it. What I'm saying is, if they put every single song they've ever written and they don't perform on stage on a regular basis, they put it in there. You're talking about anywhere between 40 to 60 songs. No, I'm sorry. You are not going to rehearse 40 to 60 songs at random just to have something pulled up. No, that's ridiculous.
And here's the other thing. It isn't a song that they don't play very often because they played it at both shows.
No, they played it at one show. They played it on the second night.
They played it at the Troubadour.
Yeah.
So
they played it before.
Yeah, they played it before. A year ago before.
It was a year ago. Yeah, but they did. So they pulled the random song out of the jar. It very well could have been. Like I said, there was like 4 or 5 pieces of paper in the jar. So, and it was Red Hands Never Fade. Great. Well, we've heard that before too. After that came their rendition of Enter Sandman. Like we've always said about that song, it's a very original take, a very different take. I can't stand Enter Sandman. I hate that song, but I do like their rendition of it because it is a complete reimagining of that song. I give the girls a ton of respect for that. I've always enjoyed it, so.
Still doesn't beat when they got Alicia Carr on stage
with
at the
her out there.
Troubadour.
Yeah, it's true.
Sorry.
That was a special thing.
That was a special thing, but the pop they got for that.
Oh, the pop was ridiculous.
Yeah.
They blew the roof off the place. That's what a pop smells like. Yes.
Smells like or sounds like?
Smells like. You smell that?
Smells like victory.
That's what a pop smells like. That's right.
He is ridiculous.
To quote Double A. That's right. Arn Anderson, he said that. Anyway, after that came another new song, the last new song of the set, Error. Again, never heard it, and I didn't want to ruin any potential reaction, so I tuned it out. I don't know what that song even sounded like. I couldn't even tell you. After that came a song that the crowd really popped for as well, Narcisista.
I love that song.
I know you do.
I love that song.
I know you do.
Oh my God, that was such a good song.
It's a fun song. It really is. It's a very fun song, a very easy song for the crowd to sing along with. After that came Martirio.
Yes, and
is that how you pronounce it?
Yes.
Yeah, we've heard that song. They played that.
I did a review to that song.
You did?
I did. It was when we did the 3 with the Enter Sandman. That was one of the other ones.
It was?
Yeah, it was.
NANI? I don't remember that, but okay. I'll take your word for it. My memory is going. Oh, God, Alzheimer's.
He's getting old!
Dementia. Alzheimer's is setting in. I'm old. Yes, anyway. After that, they left the stage, and, they even said, this is our last song of the set. They pulled the old Motorhead. And then they played Martirio, and then they left the stage. The crowd made a whole bunch of noise. They came back out on the stage. Oh, you want one more? Like that wasn't planned. We all know it. It's not a big surprise. But in any case, they only did one encore. I was a little shocked by that. I thought they were going to do at least 2 more, but they only did 1. But it was a good one to end on. It was Evolve. Good song. I know you've heard that.
Did they end one of their shows at the Troubadour with Evolve? Like it was one of the 2-part encore?
I do not remember if they did that or not.
I think so.
Think so? Maybe they may have. I don't remember the show very well. It's been a year. Give me a break. No, but it was a great song to close with. Good energy, good way to send the crowd home happy. What I was really impressed with, I was impressed with a couple of things. First thing I was impressed with was they have a new album out, and out of a 16-song set, 25% of it, a quarter of it, 4 songs were brand new. That's great. I was expecting 2, maybe 3 if we're lucky. They gave us 4 new songs. Good for them. I'm really glad to see that they do have that much faith and that much respect in their new material, and they feel comfortable enough playing the new material to do that on stage in front of a live crowd. Kudos to the girls for doing that. What'd you think of that? Nice. Keep it simple. Okay, that works for me. What'd you think of the live show? Yeah?
Oh my God, it was awesome!
Yeah?
I had so much fun.
Did you?
I did.
Awesome.
Even though we got out so late and I was really tired.
You were tired. We had fans of the channel come up after the show and they wanted to talk to us, and I felt so bad.
We still talked to them.
We talked to them. We didn't talk to them for nearly as long as I wanted to talk to them, but it was late and she had to get up at 4 o'clock in the morning the next day.
Also, we were being shoved out by the Regent Theater.
Yeah, the Regent Theater was pushing us out the door as well. So for those of you that did come up and talk to us, I want to let you guys know we really did appreciate that. And believe me, I wish we could have stuck around and talked longer, but unfortunately, real life is a real thing. And Mrs. Heretic had to get home and get some sleep because she had to be up in 5 hours. So, yeah, that was rough. But what did you think? But as far as the live performance, did you notice anything, or were you just enjoying it?
I was having a really good time.
You're having a really good time.
I'm the person who just wants to go in and have. You're like literally like one of those
Analyzing
people. Every little thing, taking notes, analyzing. Like he's sitting there telling me in the car ride home, yada 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 yada. I'm like, okay.
Wow.
I don't want to give away what you're gonna say. That's why I put the yada yadas in there. So, because that's not my place to speak. That's
we already talked about everything I was gonna say. So.
Yeah, but I mean, he literally took notes on everything.
Of course I did.
So this is Mr. Heretic for you. Hello.
Very analytical. Yes. When it came to the girls in the live performance, I've always been very complimentary of them. And I've loved seeing the evolution of these girls growing, not just from a height standpoint, but from a performer standpoint. And I said this at the Troubadour show. They're approaching their final form. They're getting close. They're almost there after this show. Here's the difference. When I've been watching videos of them performing live when they were younger, and they were learning their craft, they were learning their art, they were learning their trade, and they were getting used to doing things. And you saw the development, you saw the growth. When we actually got a chance to see them perform at the Troubadour, I saw 3 young ladies who really understood what they needed to do, how they needed to do it. But there was one major factor. And it more than anybody, I'm aiming this at Ali. I'm aiming this at my girl. But I mean, you see it in the other 2 girls ever so slightly as well. Confidence. And at the Troubadour show, we saw confidence, but not natural confidence. It was like forced confidence or rehearsed confidence, meaning they rehearsed so much that they felt comfortable. You know, they felt comfortable because they were going to follow this roadmap. They're going to follow this formula. They're going to follow this plan. They're going to follow this script. And they did. They absolutely did. But you could feel it. You could see it. That they weren't. The confidence wasn't organic. At this show, we saw it. We saw it. We saw a natural confidence. Now, the reason I'm going to say that is this. Every single time that Ale came to the mic, not Danny. Danny's always had very good confidence when it comes to moving around stage and moving to the mic. When Ale would come up to the mic, she no longer had that look of dread in her eyes. She no longer had that look of dread in her face, like, oh God, here we go back on the mic again. Now, she came up to the mic smiling. She came up to the mic ready and relaxed. Her shoulders were down and back. She wasn't all hunched and scrunched and uptight. No, she was very relaxed getting on that mic this time. every single time coming to the mic, no matter whether she was 20 feet away or 2 feet away. It didn't matter. She was prepared, she was ready, and she was relaxed. And it looked like she was genuinely having the time of her life up there. Even when she went up to the mic and sang, which we all know she's not a big fan of doing, but she looked very natural doing it. This is the first time I've ever seen that from her. I saw the same thing with Danny. More relaxation, more natural, more organic, not so tight and rehearsed and blocked and I need to be here, that I need to be here, that I need to be here. No, it was just very natural, very flowing. Hal back on the drums, when she would talk to the crowd, man, it was just natural.
If you could hear her.
When we could hear her, when she would talk to the crowd, it was very natural. It didn't sound scripted. It just sounded very flowing, like she would normally talk. That all comes down to experience. That's what it really comes down to more than anything. All these things I'm talking about, sum it all up in one word: experience. These girls have it now. There's an old saying, iron sharpens iron. When you want to get better, you want to get sharper, you got to play with bands that are going to push you. Look at the bands that the Warning have played with lately. They played with the Foo Fighters. They opened for Muse. They played with Hailstorm.
See, that would have been a good show, taking me to Muse and the Warning.
That would have been great.
I would have been on cloud 9.
From what I heard, though, the Warning only got to play 2 songs.
You're putting me on.
That's a crime, in my opinion.
Oh,
But in any case, they were playing with these top-notch bands, big-time performing bands, high-energy bands, and as a result, they got a chance to actually see these bands in person, up close and personal, talk to them, ask them questions, and as a result, look at where we are now. Now they're headlining, and they look better than I've ever seen them look before. So kudos to the girls. When I say they're almost there, boy, they are just a sliver away now. I mean, they are right there. Maybe another year, and they're going to be in their final form. And boy, we better brace ourselves, because they're already taking off. They're going to take off even more when that happens. It's going to be frightening.
can't wait.
Can't wait. It's going to be fun. It's going to be a good ride for them. So overall, do you want to score the bands individually, or just want to score the whole night as a whole?
I give the night as a whole.
You want to score this the night as a whole?
Yes.
Okay, let me think about it. Okay. All right, I have a score. What are you gonna do? You gonna do your thumbs?
I'm gonna do my thumbs.
You're gonna do your thumbs.
I'm gonna give the show 1 and 1.5 thumb up.
1.5 thumbs up.
And
for the whole night.
for the whole night.
Okay.
Okay. I would give them 2 thumbs up, but front of house, get your crud together.
Seriously, no, I agree with that. I would give the entire show, the entire night as a whole, I would give it an 8.8. Yep, 8.8. I feel good about that score. I mean, we've already told you why.
Why?
I agree with everything you said. As far as the bands go, I don't know if Holy Wars was the best fit for this show. They were significantly heavier than the other 2 bands. I personally would have left Holy Wars out and had just Plush and the Warning, given them both longer sets, give them each an extra 20 minutes. I think we would have been just fine. The biggest complaint for me was the FOH, in all honesty. I mean, the bands did a great job. Plush did a great job. The Warning did a great job. I do feel like Holy Wars did the best job they possibly could, given their sound situation. But that FOH, man, boy, what a downer. What an absolute downer. You guys, you don't understand. The FOH really ruined quite a few songs because of their incompetence. So I felt bad for Plush, man. I really did.
I was really looking forward when he said he had done a couple reactions and he thought they would be somebody I would like.
I really did. I thought you would love them.
I enjoyed what I could get out of them, and I thought the most positive I could think given the sound situation.
Yeah. So FOH did bring the score down quite a bit, unfortunately. It's part of the night, guys. It is. But even with the FOH F-ups, it's still getting an 8.8 from me, which is a very high, great score. So, 1.5 thumbs for Mrs. Heretic, 8.8 from me. Final scores, we have spoken. Well, that's going to do it for this edition of Reactions, Reviews, and Rants. Hope you all enjoyed the show. Hopefully, we were able to entertain you. If we were able to put a smile on your face and brighten your day, then we did our job, and we're so glad we could do it. If you guys feel like joining the fan base, go ahead and click on that button down there. If you guys want to like the video, go ahead and like the video. If you guys want to ring the bell, go ahead and ring the bell. It honestly doesn't make any difference at all to us, but if you guys feel like doing these things, then by all means, feel free to do so. Well, that's going to do it for tonight, folks. Thank you very much for watching, and as always, this is David Heretic and Mrs. Heretic signing off, reminding you to stay fabulous.
And support each other.
Later.
Peace.
Peace.